Okay, I finished my watering on the orchids, but we did have a problem. My pH meter packed up yesterday, and so the last remaining things that I had to water haven't been fed when it was their feed rota. But I'm not prepared to mix up feed without being able to check the pH. New meter will be here shortly, replacing the one I've got with exactly the same model, because I've had it quite a long time and it's been, up until now, trouble free, and it's got the manual adjustment with the little screwdriver, which means I can actually calibrate it at the 6.8 level that I tend to use it at. I don't need to calibrate it at 4 point something or other. I never have anything that needs a reading like that. So that's on its way, should be here tomorrow. And I've had a good sweep up round here, and I've started weeding. Now, I haven't got very far. I know that looks like halfway, but it's not, because that was the easy half. That didn't have, well, as you can see, not much came out. This is going to be the more difficult bit. There's nettles in there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with those. I've got to have a go at that wisteria again. It was done last time Hannah was down. And I'm also, all of these long extensions on this bush, I'm going to take off, because it flowers on the new wood, but you can see that a lot of the flowers are on the shorter extensions, not on these big long ones. So that will reshape that bush nicely. And things like this, these long extensions coming out here, they need to come off. The fuchsia, unfortunately, needs to be cut back a bit, because these bits leaning forward, with the weight of the blooms, they're just going to fall over and either break or just get in the way. So I'm going to trim that back to a joint so that the side shoots will come out. That'll give us more blooms later. But yeah, this section is going to be a lot more difficult because I've got to get in round existing things, and some of those are nettles and some of those are roses with prickles on. So this next bit's going to be a bit more difficult. And I've got so far, and my back's starting to hurt, so this next bit might be tomorrow's job. Bit at a time, as I said. I will sweep the mess up though and make a pile. I'm not going to clear the pile up because I'm going to add to it. So sort of made a start, and a brilliant suggestion from a viewer. The 3 bags of bark mulch that I've got in the car that I can't lift, somebody suggested if I open the bag at the back of the car and then take some mulch out a bit of a time, bring it round and use it and go back and get some more, therefore not having to lift the full bag until the bag is, say, half full, and then I can bring that part of the bag round here, so I haven't got to keep walking up and down. But a nice idea, so we will give that a go. But I'm not going to attempt to put the mulch on until I've finished preparing everything, and then that will be a single job. Just, you know, start it and finish it in one go, which is the way I'd prefer to work. I don't like leaving this halfway, but I don't think my back's going to put up with the next bit, and I've still got to decide what to do with those nettles. I may actually spray them and kill them. I can't. The idea was to have some nettles for the butterflies, but in this border it's not going to work, because this is it's quite nutrient, I won't say nutrient rich, but it's reasonable soil, and they're growing like mad. You know, like you could almost watch them grow. So they will take over a section of this border with something that, you know, every time you touch it you're going to get stung. So I think they're going to have to go. Shame, but so be it. And yeah, I want to cut the rose back, start that shooting out near the base. Yeah, so I've made a start, and so I wondered what that was. And I've probably done as much as I'm going to do today, apart from finish sweeping that into a pile. I can't be bending for too long, and it's up and down type bending, if you see what I mean. So we'll probably leave it at that for today. I may get the handsaw, because it's a standing up job. I may get the saw and take this wisteria down, because when we took it down last time we only took it down to the top of the fence. It needs to come down a lot more than that, and then hopefully I can just keep it as a bush. an attractive bush. The leaves are nice, it's a nice green, but I don't want it up in the hedge and climbing up in the tree like it did before, and it just grows so fast it's difficult to control. One day I might be able to train it along the fence, but that's not for now, so we shall see. Right, short update on what's going on, and yeah, I'm hoping some of the foxgloves have seeded or will seed. I'm not going to cut the spikes off, I'm just going to leave them to die back, and then if they do seed, the problem I will have with the things that seed naturally, once I get this mulch on, they're not going to work. I doubt if they will grow. They're not going to be able to germinate on that mulch and get roots down into the soil, so I may have, you know, got rid of that nice to have, but nonetheless there's no reason why I can't basically collect some seed and put some seeds in a seed tray and then plant the little plants, you know, in amongst the mulch, but that remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. Right, so this corner's coming on. It's getting there. Whatever this herb is coming into flower now. That'll be new. I haven't had that. Oh, there they are. No, that's different, I think. I'm not sure what's going on here. This looks quite different to the one next to it. So, but that's coming into flower as well, so a few extra little bits. Oh, and I must show you this. The geranium that's in this border that was already here, so this is not one that's been introduced, has the most stunning blooms. These really are absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, it's a right straggly old plant, as they often are. Right, so I will probably trim those long extensions off later today, because again, that's a standing up job. There's no bending. And I'll hopefully do the wisteria. And I've contacted Hannah, she hasn't replied yet, to try and change her weekend from this weekend to next weekend. The weather forecast for this weekend is not good, and it will be a waste of her visit if we can't get out and do some stuff in the garden because it's raining. You know, we're not going out working in the rain, that's for sure. So I've tried to rearrange it, but as I said, so far I haven't heard from her. I will let you know. See you next time. Amazing what a bit of lunch and a drink does. I decided to have another go, and now my back actually hurts, so I'm stopping. I've taken most of those long extensions off, those I can get at. I've had a hack on the wisteria, got a lot of that out, that's what a lot of the mess is. And I've got most of the weeds out that I want to get out now, except for the nettles, and I've been stung quite bad on my hand, and that's tingling and will do for some time. And everybody's going to say, you need some dock leaves. Well, there aren't any. You can't have what there isn't. But anyway, I'm not going to attempt to clear this lot up. I'm just hoping it doesn't rain between now and tomorrow when I can have a go at picking this lot up. And possibly, depending on how my back is, start on the mulch. So if I leave it too long, I'll have another load of weeds to get out, won't I? So, yeah, I'm quite puffed out now. That was quite difficult. Anyway, it's cleared a lot of the stuff out. Some of the things that were planted have actually been trimmed back. Some of the geraniums had actually grown quite a bit and gone a bit straggly, so I've sort of trimmed them back a bit. They'll all shoot out again and we possibly get some flowers towards the end of the year. I haven't done the rose. I want to do that as a separate thing and bag it up immediately, so that if it's in amongst this stuff, I've got to wear gloves for the whole operation, whereas if I do that as a separate thing, I've only got to wear gloves for that bit and the nettles. Yeah, so a lot of weeds came out. I haven't got every single one. It's probably not possible, but an awful lot are now out, and that means I can see the plants that were planted, and I can see those that are coming on okay and everything. So right, totally exhausted now. So now is the time to go and pour some wine and sit down and watch some tennis and probably fall asleep, because that's what we do. Chaffinch singing away there. It was. There we go. Half a song. Come on, what about the rest of it? That's better. Oh, and I'll show you that if I can get close enough. That's the first butterfly I've seen land on the buddleia. Now I doubt if I'll be able to zoom in before it flies away. Oh, perhaps we will. And then as soon as I get there it flies off. Wonder if it'll come back. Yeah, there we go. That is a large white. There's also a small white and a green vein white in the same family. So, the buddleia does attract the butterflies. They're only just coming into flower. The white one's got its first flower open, and the other one, we've had one flower die back already, and the other one's just coming out. That's a deeper purple one, that one, and that's a pink. And then we've got the white. I want to keep them all together. And there you go, Carol. They have made it, and they are finally coming into bloom. The geums, I think that's had it for this year now. I've cut a lot of the stems off because they had no more buds and they were forming seed heads, so I've trimmed that back a bit. I'll do the rest of it when I get round to it. This is what I'm not looking forward to, doing all this. That's got to go right back to the base, but I'm hoping that that heavy duty line on the strimmer will deal with that quick and easy, and then just tear, because all of these runners, they'll have rooted, they'll have got into the gravel, so they've just got to be ripped up and then try and repair the damage that it leaves behind. Same over here. All this has got to be cut back before the path disappears completely. That's the trouble, when you get things that grow well, you're forever cutting them back. It's a good job we don't do that with our orchids, isn't it? Anyway, a bit more work done. That's quite a large session for me in the garden, and I am very wary that if I do too much I won't be doing anything for the next couple of days, so I can't go too mad. But hence I'm not clearing that up, because that's a lot of bending over and putting it in the bags and stuff. We'll have a go at that tomorrow perhaps. And the only thing I may do is I'm going to have to chemically kill them nettles. I can't dig them out, and I don't know whether I'll be able to do that today because it's breezy, and the chemical that I want to use is in a sprayer, and if it's still it will go where I point it. If it's breezy there's going to be some drift, and some of that drift could kill some really nice plants, so we'll have to do it incredibly carefully, but I need them gone. One way or the other, I need them gone. They were cut back, so the growth that's there now is young growth, and that's the ideal time for a strong weed killer to actually kill the plant right back to the roots. Fingers crossed. I wish I hadn't let them grow now. The idea was nice, but in practice no good. The border's too confined, and I want lots of nice plants in there, not a huge bed of nettles that will eventually take over. It's bad enough with a couple of brambles that are in there that keep coming up. Anyway, that'll do me. Time to sit down.